right, what's up, good people? It's your boys, the Beards of War. Got myself, Thick Nick Fury, FBI for President, Fat Broken Rambo. Behind the scenes, hey, Captain Jack, and Scorched Earth. All right, so here we are, people, with another episode of Yellowjackets, season 3, episode 8.
Yes,
A
sir.
lot going on in this episode, man. We finally get to see the adult Melissa. In walks Hillary Swank. We've been waiting for this for I don't know for a while now. So we got finally get to see who her character is and that whole storyline, and it gets crazy from there, man.
Oh man,
Uh,
it does. It
yeah,
does.
yeah. All right, man. So you wanna get it started?
Yeah, man. So I mean, honestly, it kicks off with a dream sequence. So Shauna's scanning groceries at the store, and Jackie comes to her in a vision, and kind of gives this whole vibe of like, this is what your life is like if you return back to like the real world.
Right.
And then what's interesting about the scene is not necessarily what they talk about or some of that stuff, but the imagery that they had at the very end of the scene showing the moths up in the ceiling, right? So the moth, specifically the death head moth, if you guys are familiar with Sounds of the Lambs, same moth. Um, they use it as a symbol throughout the episode, so it's kind of interesting to see where it goes. Yeah, man, it was just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Um, we do find out that yeah, so Shauna tracks down Hillary Swank, who is Melissa, living under assumed name. She had faked her suicide. She left a
Yeah.
suicide note and alluded to Shauna that, hey, nobody goes looking for somebody, or I'm sorry, you can still be declared dead even without a body, is what she says. And we'll get to more of the specifics later on, but that's how we were introduced to adult Melissa and her new life as Kelly, I believe,
Ellie,
the
right.
alias that she gave.
Yep.
So yeah, man. Well, the other thing that comes around is she's got the shittiest security system in the world. I don't know, man, this day and age who leave doors unlocked, but I mean, it seems kind of like a thing. They're just having breakfast, so that makes me think that maybe they've left the door unlocked all night. I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I think the kids, probably getting ready for school, that kind of thing. It does kind of give me the impression that Melissa is some type of an aware individual, right? Because she did sense Shauna in the closet. It's like whoever you are, you know, like so she was aware that she was there. She had the knife
yeah,
ready. So it's kind of like, okay, well, look like she can defend herself. We don't know what she's been doing, ever since she got a decent job. That could be in security, like we don't know. So maybe
true.
she
Yeah.
feels like she can handle herself, that kind of thing. But yeah, man, that whole back and forth between her and Shauna just man, that thing got dark, right?
Yeah, man, and it builds over time too. So, what was interesting is like the actual tension that builds up between them. But we had to bounce back because, sorry, I'm reviewing my notes. If you guys are watching my eyes move off screen, Misty, Ty, and Van are still very much at the hospital where Shauna completely like left them stranded.
Right.
Van's
Went
not doing
full
so
Sarah
good.
Connor on him.
Right? Van's not doing so good. Doc comes out and talks to Ty. Ty has basically told the hospital staff she's her wife. But what was interesting is that they're like, hey, like you need to start getting prepared for like hospice care. So like Van's on borrowed time at this point. Misty is still kind of freaking out, trying to figure out where the fuck Shauna went off to. And we're gonna get to that. Don't get me wrong, but
Right.
you see Ty kind of switch between her personalities. The doctor tells her she's in hospice, and then all of a sudden she just kind of like you see her flip the switch, so to speak, and evil Ty kind of comes to the surface a little bit, for lack of a better term on how we're describing her. And she starts realizing she's like, hey, point me in the direction of where hospice care is at in the hospital. So, you
Right.
know, it doesn't
Just
take much to
raised
put together
bodies.
what Ty is looking to do, right? She's gonna
Right.
help the wilderness choose for her really fucked up theory. Who knows? Maybe
Right.
she's going for a PhD. But yeah, man. Quickly right after that, we kind of bounce back to the past. We find young Misty struggling. Cody had shot the crossbow at her. She lost her glasses in that skirmish, and luckily, convenient writing allows Misty to find her glasses within a couple of steps. And she's got the trademark that we've seen from the pilot, where her I think it's her right lens is I'm sorry, her left lens is cracked.
Weapons. Hmm.
Yeah, so that was, you're starting to finally see where the pilot is pointed in a certain direction. We're starting to finally see those details emerge to the surface and be like, okay, we're slowly but surely catching up to what the pilot alluded to, which makes for interesting conversation for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, like, and like you said, Misty finding her glasses like Velma style from Scooby Doo.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
it's and it's always like, so it's like you get it, right? Like you have to find your glasses for people who know these things. Oh, without them, you're screwed. Like for people who really depend on glasses, like no, you completely get it. Like, oh my God, please find those glasses because she's gonna be useless. So you got that. Then you also have um Travis and Aquila kind
Yep.
of walking Cody to the extraction point, I guess you could call it for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
And Travis is using the we're gonna use a small party, we'll send back rescue because I think Travis kind of understands we can't let the girls know this because they're not gonna want to let it happen, which is essentially what transpired because Akila's like leaving breadcrumbs and she's kind of like setting them up. She won't let them leave, and then all the girls come out of the woods, and Cody's like, fuck. Like he already knew, like, okay, this is not good. It's not like, oh, okay, ladies, listen, I can get you guys home. It's a very easy way to get out of this. If Cody's saying to them and say, oh yeah, no problem, I know how to get you guys out of here. It's gonna take this amount of journey, blah blah blah. It's almost like no one wants to really help these girls get out. Like you would understand, okay, they've been in the wilderness for a while because Hannah says, "Oh, I remember it," almost like it was a past story. So now they're freaking out, like, wait, they forgot about us, like they're not even looking for us anymore. And Van's like, "Oh wow, we've been out here a long time." So the realization kind of hit that they're kind of been forgotten by society, and
Yeah.
it just doesn't seem like there's any sense of urgency to get those girls out, which is I think is what's kind of setting up a little bit of a red flag if you will at the end of it because they're like, no, this doesn't feel right,
Yeah, and what's
because
what's crazy about it is, I guess if I was trying to put myself in their shoes, like the person that identifies, hey, like we all have a lot to lose at this point because Lottie has killed Edwin. Everyone has witnessed Coach Scott's head on a plate,
Mhm.
so like now they're in like crime scene cleanup mode kind of thing. They're like, fuck, man, like while these two people are salvation, they are also our damnation in the
Right,
same respect. And like, hey, they know a lot, and can we really truly trust these folks to help us A, get out of here, and B, keep their mouths shut? And you got to know that neither of those folks are coming out of there alive. Um,
right,
well, what I found interesting was when Akila and Travis were pushing Kodiak towards the extraction point, like the guy has shown a degree of talent, or at least alluded to the fact that he's a survivalist, like somebody that can actually probably thrive in the wilderness environment and come out on top. I find it interesting that he didn't actually try to take back one of the weapons and take ownership of the situation and I don't know, kind of like save his own ass. Um,
right.
I thought he had an opportunity here and there to where he could have overpowered one of them and drawn down on the other and probably been decently successful at it. But once the rest of the team kind of shows up and Ty is left holding the bag between Nutty Lottie and Hannah tied to a fucking airliner chair,
All right,
um, that jig is up, man, and Cody ain't going anywhere anytime soon. So,
right.
but yeah, and then obviously they get back to the camp and they're having these discussions right in front of their own hostages, been like, oh man, what are we gonna do with these two? And Missy brings it up, like, hey man, like we have a lot to lose here. Can we really trust them? And then you start seeing like, the internal communications are going very loud, and Cody's like, hey man, I didn't see shit.
Yeah,
Like,
right. Let me tell you before we started, I didn't
yeah,
see nothing.
that dude gets it. Like, he definitely gets it. Meanwhile, Hannah's like, I don't know what you're talking about because Hannah's probably never been on the streets before, but like, yeah, man, stitches get stitches.
Right, yeah.
Um,
But then here too, man, like you also have to look at the logical side of this, right? You've been stranded in the wilderness for however long it's been.
been over a year at this point
Right.
because
And
we're
the
about to,
first thing you think
yeah,
about is, well, how do we explain the dead body? You were in a plane crash and you were trying to survive, right? So I think, I mean, and the court of, popular opinion, yeah, okay, maybe there's a trial, right? These girls, oh, you got to go to trial. Okay, now Lottie might have trouble getting out of that murder, right? Okay, well, you literally just hatcheted to do the back of the head. This is not for survival.
it is a
But,
challenge to
like,
defeat that.
right, everything that goes on is kind of like, okay, we get it. Like, you're in survival mode. It's not like you guys are out there just murdering people. It's
Yeah.
not premeditated murder, blah, blah, blah. So, this is kind of like where it gets kind of weird because you would also think if these people come across these girls, wow, you told us you're the soccer team from New Jersey. we should be like, holy crap, we found these girls. Like, like this should be like almost like a celebratory situation for everyone because we found these girls.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're thinking like for the sake of your own benefit, it gotta be a reward or something. Like I'm gonna make the news. Like I'm gonna get money for my research. Like you have to be thinking this is a positive thing, and it doesn't seem like it's positive for anyone involved, right? So
No,
Nat's
definitely
kind of
not.
trying to say, hey guys, we can get out of here, right? Like that's what we should be focusing on. And now everyone you can see one by one is kind of like, well, I don't know. Something doesn't feel right. Well, I don't, like, and Lottie, it starts with Lottie and it quickly goes through everyone else. It's like everybody synced up once again. And it's, you have to look at the big picture. Big picture is we get out of here. Okay, fine. We'll have to explain Coach Scott's head on a pike. But okay, like let's get out of here first, right? Because to me, that's the number one issue. So what I think they're trying to do now is they at least they understand that there is a way out. We know that there's a way out because they got in.
Right.
So,
Because
how important are those people now? Because you know what? We know there's a way out. You're not really going to be the vehicle we use to get out, but you know, you're the bird when you're out at sea and you see the bird, so there's land nearby. Okay, cool. That's all we need. We need to know there's land by what direction. That's it. And that's why I think none of them make it.
yeah,
Like
I
Cody or
don't think
Hannah
that.
don't make it.
I'm more curious about how Kodiak's gonna buy it in the end because I think he's more nefarious than what we currently know.
Right.
I think he's tied to the cabin. I think he's tied to the airplane. I think we'll get to that end result here maybe this season. I don't know. Hopefully, season four is coming. There's been no announcement so far, but hey, man, fingers crossed because like you fucked this up, Paramount. I don't know what to tell you. There ain't enough Taylor
Right.
Sheridan to save your asses on this one if you don't renew
Hey, it
Yellow
could be
Jackets.
Cody's cabin. Like, for
I
all
think
intents and
it is,
purposes,
man.
he could have been bringing Hannah and Edwin out there to chop them up or
Yep.
something. Like, we don't know. It could have been his plane that was out there. Like, there's a whole bunch we don't know about Kodiak,
Right,
right?
because all we know is that his clothes have a different name on it than what he's alluding to, and that's all kinds of like red flags, man.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but yeah, so if we're bouncing back to the present timeline, what's going on is
Shauna.
Melissa and Sean, thank you. Melissa and Sean are really having kind of like a battle of mental wits. I found it interesting that Melissa's explanation as to why she provided the tape to Shauna's house was like her trying to let go of the past. Um, she faked her death with a bullshit suicide note, claiming that she wasn't one of them after they returned. And I find that kind of interesting phrasing. Um, so that makes me wonder, like, what happened upon their return. And I think the future seasons will explore that. I hope they do because I don't think the rescue efforts are going to last much longer. I think that's going to come to fruition here shortly. Um, but it definitely appears that like uh Shauna is getting gaslit 100% by Melissa. She like lays everything on the table, everything down from like the presence at Lottie's cult to them joining the cult to Nat dying. Like for someone who has been trying to stay off the grid and out of the public eye and has gone to extreme measures to hide herself, she is definitely keeping tabs on everybody, almost like somebody that would be in the know. I 100% think Melissa is totally like mind fucking Shauna at this point, but I think Shauna is smart enough not to buy into it for reasons that we probably haven't seen yet. That's just kind of like my gut instinct, or my personal feelings on the matter. But yeah, I definitely think that Melissa is trying to push Shauna to the edge and break her for some reason, one way or the other. I don't think she came out of hiding for no reason. I don't
Right.
buy that her bullshit statement about sending her the tape to like let go. Because if that's the case, you just burn the tape and call it a day.
Right. Yeah. But then you kind of pass the
Yeah.
buck to
And
someone that
then
is going to perfect.
at the same time, we also have Misty calls Jeff. Jeff and Callie are kind of having like dinner at the main restaurant in the hotel.
Right.
Jeff is like, poor Jeff, man. It's the most sympathetic character in the
Trying to
entire
salvage
show.
his
Like,
business.
I just want this poor bastard to get his moment to shine because he deserves it. So they're
Yeah.
sitting down there. They get the interaction with the two Joels, the douchebags that are like renovating the hotel and denied Jeff his furniture business. They're just schmuck asshole bros. Um, but he kind of takes a verbal like beat down from them a little bit, and then he gets the phone call from Misty. Shauna's missing, blah blah blah, and you just see poor Jeff just starting to crack, man. And unfortunately for him, his daughter has to kind of like lift him up and be like, "Dad, what the fuck are we doing? Like maybe Mom is the bad guy." And
Hmm.
so at that point, Jeff makes a decision for his family to be like, "Hey, no, we're not gonna live our life in fear. Pack your shit, we're leaving." And then he does kind of get a little redemption when he interacts with the Joels again one last time. It's still not the moment that I'm hoping for Jeff, but it was pretty good to see him kind of like stand up to those scumbags and kind of give him like a tactful fuck you is how I'll phrase that.
Right. But he did kind of like throw his wife under the bus. Right? Like, oh,
Substantially,
she's
yes, he sure
unhinged. Like,
did.
he basically like dragged her name through the mud. Like, wow, bro. Like, I don't know if you're gonna get too many points for that, but yeah, like Jeff needs to have his moment. He really is. He's trying to like kind of hold things together, and he's kind of like he's just like in the middle of this tornado, man. Like, he doesn't know what's going on, which way to go. Sean is wearing the pants, the skirt, the apron, the everything, the tie, like everything. Like, he's just along for the ride. Like, I think Callie has more like to on the ball than Jeff does at this point. He's like, nah,
Yeah.
I just need to make the bills. Like he's like, I just need my business to thrive. I need to make the mortgage payments. Like, he's linear in his thinking, and it's affecting him overall because, like I said, Shauna is kind of just going rogue. Like, she's on her own. She's approached Melissa, who has developed a relationship with Hannah's daughter now, which is I don't even know what the age difference would be. Not that it matters these days, I guess. But
I mean, it could
neither
be,
here nor there,
yeah, it
right?
could just be a few years actually.
Right, it could be. It could be. But it does seem like Hannah's daughter was very young at the time, and that girl's at least what 16, 17. I'm guessing if they're in high school.
Yeah.
So I mean, but again, that's neither here nor there. And then the conversation between Sean and Melissa kind of goes Kill Bill a little bit, and
Yeah,
they
that
start
escalated
fighting.
quickly.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
this
And
is
oh,
definitely one of those
Shauna,
scenes that if you
wow.
actually thought you were going to underestimate Shauna, you're sorely mistaken, man,
Ooh.
because she did that crazy ass fucking like arm break. Like I watched it a couple of times. I'm just like, Jesus, man, like she was quick.
Hmm.
She was quick and got the fucking drop on her, got her on the ground, and just dominated the shit out of Melissa. She was not expecting that. I think Melissa got that one good headbutt in, and that just didn't seem to phase Shauna in the
Right.
slightest
No one
fucking bit.
wins with a headbutt, by the way. But yeah,
Yeah,
Archibald Reddick said Melissa is full of shit. I am definitely team crazy ass Shauna.
that's right.
I get it, bro. Roll with the winners, right? I don't know how much force you need to break skin with a bite, but she didn't
Oh
just
man.
break skin, she tore flesh off. Right? Like, whoa.
And that
Like, this
was
is not even
gnarly
clean
as
meat,
shit, man.
man.
She's just like sitting there dangling with that shit in her teeth. Like, you got something right, you
Careful
know?
of your teeth.
And how
Yeah.
fucked up, man. Like, it's a straight dominance power play, man. Because Shauna's
Oh,
like, eat
100%.
this or I'm telling your family. I'm like, God damn.
Right? Now, not only do you have to explain like why a big piece of your skin is missing, but
Right?
that you literally ate a part, like she ate a part of her own
Uh-huh.
body at this point. She's trying to make her eat herself. Yeah, so it's a complete alpha move power play by Shauna. Which is I think what she's been their whole relationship. Like even from the beginning, you could tell Shauna was to take charge. She was the alpha,
Yeah.
and Melissa was kind of like just do whatever I say kind of thing. So, um, I do want to see obviously find out more what's going on with Melissa and what her life has been, ever since coming back. She does seem, like you said, be in the know about what's going on with the girls, but then again, she claims not to know anything about Lottie. Okay, but you knew about Nat and you knew about where the tape, how to get the tape to Sean and all this other stuff. So I'm like, what do you really know, right? And what is your purpose, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that storyline is going to develop into something crazy. How many more episodes do we have this season?
We
Like,
got two
is it
more.
two more? Okay, so
What's
it's time,
interesting
man.
is Walter's absence, I find interesting in this one. Because
Yeah, I don't. I just don't think there was a space for him in this episode. Sometimes it's just like, all right, well, what is he really gonna do at this point? Because he's kind of separated from him, right? So everything he's doing
true.
is via text or a phone call. So he's definitely gonna come back into the mix. We just got to find out
Yeah.
how and when. Right.
Yeah. So I mean, after the fucked up brunch that Sean and Melissa were just part of, we go back to the past timeline where we're seeing the final preparations are being made. Like different characters are kind of fantasizing about returning to home. Like Van is like kind of like feeling like she's in a big bed again and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
And they're just kind of
Yeah.
like daydreaming about getting back.
Toilet
And it's
paper and all the things
yeah,
you took for granted.
toilet
Yeah.
paper Misty, yeah. Um and then it comes to stepping off time, man. So they got all their shit packed and they're ready to fucking take on that 6 day long road march, apparently, according to Kodiak. And Lottie's the first one to say no, I'm not leaving. Then Shauna falls, and then Ty. And I think I don't think there's a unified version or reason for them all staying back. I think they have their individual reasons. Like, I don't think Shauna is prepared to go back to a life of normalcy. And I think that she feels like she's in her element to be her true self out in the wilderness. Lottie's
Right.
obviously fucking bonkers. Um, and then Ty feels like I don't think she can go back with the guilt of what's happened out there and, what it's going to do to her, like personally, professionally in the future, that kind of thing. I think denied
Right.
opportunities.
Right, what their life will be like or what they perceive it to be like when they get back.
Yeah.
And at least here they kind of have some sort of control of their lives, right? Which is
Yes.
weird, but they do. Like they're in charge here. They're the judge, jury, and executioner out here.
Yeah.
So that's kind of difficult to let go of, right? So even though it's not an ideal situation as opposed to your living situation, but what do you really need? This is where you get down to, the bare tax. Like, okay, well, what do I actually need to survive? As soldiers, we know, right? A place to sleep, place to eat. That's it. And you function very well like that for a year at a time on deployments. We've all been there.
You're
Um,
institutionalized, man.
right. And then you come home, it's like, wow, why do I have all this extra space in this house? And
Yeah.
then you realize I don't need it. Like these guys that go to end up in cabins, in the middle of the woods, like, get it, dude. Like we get it, and it's totally fine. You get a recliner, TV, and a couple of your favorite drink. That's
Yeah.
it. So I think the girls are kind of there right now where, hey, we're in charge here. We don't have to worry about anybody other than ourselves, and we have each other's backs. There is
Yeah.
a power struggle going on, obviously,
There
between
is.
Shauna and Nat's just trying to get everyone out, and Lottie's just kind of like in the background, just pulling strings one way or the other. And Akila is trying to be this prophet or this oracle, as it were. And Travis just like, no, it's all made up. Like you're just huffing cave fumes at this point. It's like it's not you're not having visions, but it's hard to get her to believe that because she's believing in the visions or the
Exactly.
thing
Now
that
you're
she's
now you're trying
seeing.
to talk her out of the idea that you helped implement.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a challenge for sure. Yeah, it was interesting to see the dynamic at the end where she's like, "No, you're not leaving," and when Shauna was like pretty much addressing the entire group. Because if it's me, it'd be like, "Fuck it, Cody, we're stepping off. Let's go, boy." You know,
Hmm. Right.
I ain't fucking around. Be like, "Hey, man, if you guys want to sit back here and fucking eat, bunnies all day long for the rest of your lives, cool, have at it. I'm gonna get rescue."
But then you know what happens.
Exactly.
You become the
So,
prey. And I think that's what it is. It's the fear of knowing if these individuals, if Sean is not on board, when she says you're not leaving, guess what?
you're not leaving. Yeah.
Because they're gonna hunt you down.
Yeah,
Because they
man.
know if they get out, it's gonna get out what happened here, and the whole reason that we're staying here is because we don't want what happened here to get out. So it's monkeys in a barrel, dude. They're not gonna
Yeah.
let anyone else leave unless they're all on board with leaving. And right now, they feel like they have too much to lose to leave, and that's all it takes is that those power people to be like, nope, we're not doing it, and everyone else follows in because they know, like, if we
Well,
don't fall in, we become the prey.
so at that point, I guess we should get out some theories.
Sure, go for it,
So
man.
I
I know
mean,
you guys.
if that's the case, man, so like I kind of dig that vibe. That means that someone's gonna rescue them. If no
Right.
one's willing to go back to their lives because the folks that are in power are saying no, we're staying out here, then that means that rescue is going to discover them. So, and I guess I kind of go back to some training I've had in the military where I'm just like, hey, like last known location, right? That's usually a starting point for when you find missing folks.
Hmm.
At some point, those two researchers and that guide will have had to have checked in. I would suspect. Hopefully, we're not pulling 127 hours here. And if you get the
Hmm.
reference, then you get the reference. Um, but they have most likely told people where they're going to be. I don't believe that extraction is 6 days away. Just based on the amount of equipment they brought in, I just don't see those two researchers being able to hump in for 6 days to look for a fucking frog orgy. But hey, man, crazier shit's happened. That being said, I think rescue is going to come to them because of those researchers missing.
Right.
I still think Hannah's probably going to end up as Pit Girl. And what I'm curious about that we didn't talk about was Barbara.
Hmm.
Melissa's like spiritual advisor,
Right.
who's not a psychologist. I'm kind of curious to see if somebody else from the Yellow Jacket community has gone underground and kind of sided with Melissa when shit got hairy after rescue. Maybe it's Aquila, maybe it's Mari. We don't know. It could just be some random character that we'll never know anything else about. But it just seems kind of like convenient. They dropped a lot of information about her for it to go nowhere. But then
Right.
again, Adam Martin is a perfectly good example of shit
There
that
you
didn't
go.
pay
Kind of got
off.
everything started, but then that was it, right? Yeah.
and I still hold out that maybe the Adam Martin storyline's not done. They're gonna tie him in. Like I need one fucking line of dialogue, man. I'll be happy. Just tie him into something, make that count for, for real.
Right, like a full circle type deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's interesting. I saw an article today about the lead actress that plays young Shauna. They still haven't they haven't greenlit season four yet. I find that kind of strange, but From did a similar trick where they didn't actually say they were approved for season four until like pretty much the very end of the season, if I remember right.
Hmm.
I just don't see a world where they don't have a season four at least,
Right. Yeah.
based on the
Gotta wrap
ratings
this
they've
up.
received.
Yeah, you gotta
Um,
wrap this up.
Apparently the season three finale is going to be a hell of a cliffhanger though, so interested to see where it goes.
Aren't they all though? Like, like what is a show without a cliffhanger, right?
Yeah, I
Because
mean at
they
this
want
point,
you to come back, right?
absolutely.
So I do feel like, you could be running into those situations where these girls are obviously, especially the younger actresses, are now on the radar, right? This is
Yep.
kind of like probably their jumping off point. So yeah, you got other, projects coming up. So sometimes that's why a show will discontinue just because, hey man, you know what? Got other opportunities I want to explore, so you can't keep the cast together. And that's sometimes how shows just kind of drop off. Hopefully, though, before that happens, they can to kind of wrap this up a little bit. I think 4 to 5 seasons of any show is really good enough, right? So most
Yeah,
shows
absolutely.
you can kind of tighten up and just package them real nice. Hey, man, always leave them wanting more. And I think that's one of the best things about a series that you wish there was another episode. Or man, they could have done this, they could have done that, right? But they didn't. They tied it up. It's nice and neat. It's enough to give you a okay, I have closure, right?
Yep.
It is what it is, and there's no perfect ending, right? Everyone's going to complain about the ending, no matter how good or bad we deem it. But yeah, sometimes that being successful can kind of ruin the overall show. I'm talking to you, Walking Dead. And you kind of like just it's out of morbid curiosity. Okay, I need to see how this ends now. Like I don't even care that I'm in season 11, like 11 seasons of a zombie. No, 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 it's not supposed to happen like that. And then you got spin-offs. No, no, Walking Dead is enough. It's enough. I'm tired. No, stop. Um, but yeah, this show has enough to
Tell us
do
how you really
one
feel.
season, right? Maybe two. Like honestly, it's really just I can see wrap it up in season four. Like I don't know how much more
I
of the
think you
past
could.
timeline we can do. Okay, let's get current. Okay, currently this is what's going on. So maybe 4, 5 seasons. If you want to drag it out to five, okay. But anything more than five, I think you're kind of just doing it a disservice.
The only way I see them getting to five is if they explore post-rescue timeline where shit goes south for real. Like I think you can get through uh second winter and rescue and then lead into season five with post-rescue and all the chaos that happens there. Because something's gotta happen post-rescue for all this shit to occur, right? From
All
Melissa
right,
to Faker death. So I think there's something there that you can explore. And honestly, I'd welcome the dynamic at this point because I think it'd be really interesting to see how all these characters
the
kind of like
transitions.
come
Yeah,
back into society, like the
right. The transition
norms.
period.
Be like,
Absolutely.
oh
Yeah,
man,
the
I can't kill that
PTSD.
guy and eat him. I'm just gonna
Right,
order a cheeseburger instead.
right.
You know,
Absolutely. Good point.
yeah.
Good point.
Archibald, Archibald's in the comments saying, I'd totally watch a Misty fucking Quigley spinoff.
Right, right. That's it. I'm telling you. I
You know that what
agree.
Citizen Detective Misty, man. There you go, Paramount Plus. Make that shit happen.
Right. Uh, oh, and I just wanted to mention this too. So, um, Ty, right? I think good Ty is kind of like locked up because
She
she's
is,
trying
yep.
to like yell to get into see Van, but like evil Ty is inside, like, I got this. Right. So like it's almost like Ty's personality has been locked up. Kind of like with Bruce Banner and Hulk. Like sometimes Hulk, oh man, he
Yeah.
took over the wheel, man. I was in the trunk. So it looks like Ty might be in the trunk now. And evil Ty's like, look, I'm gonna do what needs to be done in order to try to save Van, I believe.
So I will say this, man. Like I am decently frustrated this season with that storyline because I think it was the writers that came out after season two saying that season three was going to be Ty focused. And I really feel that the whole storyline between Ty and Van, okay, Ty has got or Van has got to live, right? She's got to be able to beat this somehow. Otherwise, this entire like build up for this hypothesis of them killing someone in order to like grant Van more life, it's got to pay off. There's got to be something there. Otherwise, you've just dragged these characters through the mud for an entire season for really no reason. So there has to be something there. I believe that they're going to show it. I don't think Van's going to die. Um, it, I, I have to believe
Yeah.
it goes somewhere.
Yeah, that was a pretty funny scene when she goes into palliative care and she's there with the pillow.
Yeah,
She's like struggling to smother this guy who's already like hanging on by a thread, and she just like screams at him, and then she's like, "Oh, does that count?" I
right.
scared the poor guy. So it's just stuff like that. But yeah, I'm still interested to see that Ty Van relationship and where that goes, and her sacrificing people in order to give Van more life, as it were. Um, but yeah, man, like I said, I think that Melissa and Shauna's story is going to be a prime for the next episode. I don't know if we
Oh
have the
yeah.
trailer for the next episode, but
I don't think
yeah,
they've released a trailer. I've been actually looking for it, and I wonder if they're holding back because now, you know.
probably going to reveal too much.
Oh, you get no.
You
Uh,
do this.
Oh, and
Oh
there we go.
Should
shit!
be
First
obvious by
time.
now. You don't get to tell everyone what to do, Shada. Well, I already did. And they're gonna do it. I promise you, it could end now. You and I both know what comes next.
Man, hey,
Dude,
Captain
I
Jack
have
does it again.
no
That
shit,
man
man.
always come through. He gonna
I've
find
been
it.
looking for
Okay,
that thing for forever.
look, you ain't get Jack on the case. That's what you're supposed to do, man.
Fucking Citizen Detective Jack, man.
I'm telling you. All right.
Well, we see
Well,
the
there you
pit.
go.
We got the
Right.
pit, boys and girls. It's coming.
Yeah, and Melissa's running for her life, and there's lots of blood going on. So I don't
She's
know
got
if she
that
ate it or
evil ass
not.
smirk on her face too, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh man. Okay. All right. So I'm
I-
excited. I'm excited for the
I'm
next
in.
episode, man. We'll see how this wraps up in what, 2 more episodes for the season.
Yeah, man. Two more
And then
episodes.
and hopefully we get some questions answered. But we'll
Hmm.
see. We'll see.
Probably. Maybe some more questions to be asked as well.
True that.
Yeah, man. But hey, I think that's about wraps it up for us. What do you think, man?
Yeah, man. That's all I got for this one. But we will be back to
Thursday.
review a Working Man on We're doing this Thursday. That
Yeah,
is
we're
that
doing it
the
Thursday.
that the plan? Yeah. So
Yes.
Jason Statham's a Working Man. If you have not seen it, again, there's going to be spoilers, so go check it out. Jason Statham is, Jason Statham. But well, yeah, we'll review that on Thursday. So if you guys, if you have seen it, please join in. Let us know what you thought about the movie.
Yeah, man.
Um, and yeah, we're gonna talk about it. It's one of those, action movies with a whole bunch of bang bang pum pum. Um, about it. Yeah,
That's
that's
about
all
it.
I gotta say about that right now.
We're gonna get into it. Don't you worry.
There you go. All
All
right.
right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stand by for Thursday, man. Working man.
All right. Big Nick Fury out here.
Bad Broken Rambo out here.